Hi friends, my name is Lara and I live in Portugal. Please like and subscribe. I was raised by a single mom who loved me to bits. When I was very young, Mom had to work really hard to put food on the table. She worked as a cashier, a housekeeper, and even a delivery driver. Even though her jobs were stressful, she used her free time to study and train. Before anyone knew it, she became a firefighter, and everyone was totally blown away. I was so proud of her. But growing up, I'd see other kids with big families. Dads, sisters, aunts, uncles, grandparents, and cousins. I'd feel sad and kind of jealous. I kept asking my mom about it nonstop. But whenever I asked her, Mom would say,
I used to have a sister, but then she went on a trip to Mars and I hope she stays there forever.
Well, I believed her for a while until I understood she was just kidding. But still, I wished for a family. But Mom made sure we were both enough. She'd skateboard with me while we were out getting groceries. She'd have tea parties with me and would even let me give her a makeover because Mom was a total goofball. I was too. I'd cosplay as a ninja, run around the cafeteria, danced in the assembly and whatnot. One time I was at school and the class was just not ending, so I pulled a saxophone out of my backpack and just blew it as hard as I could.
Who did this?
Teacher, we have no idea. I knew no one would answer. Everyone was probably just as bored as I was. But I couldn't control my giggles, and she knew it was me and instantly gave me a detention. It wasn't my first time, but seeing Bruno, the hottest and most arrogant boy of the school there, made it totally worthwhile. Hey Bruno, what brings you to my kingdom? The guy just gave me a look and rolled his eyes. Such a diva. Come on, tell me what happened. Okay, fine. Let me guess. You started a food fight. No, I've never seen you in the cafeteria. Okay, you pranked some teacher. No, you're just too much into your studies. So you hit someone? No, that can't be it. That's because you're just way too sophisticated to touch someone else.
Oh my god, can you stop mouth farting for just 1 second? I don't want to have to wear my mask on my ears.
Oh, so that's exactly why I'm gonna keep doing it. What brings you to my kingdom? Come on, spill the tea. Okay, fine, let me guess.
Fine, I'll tell you, but just keep it to yourself. I'm here because...
What?
I'm here because...
I can't hear you.
I'm here because I got an F and lost it. Tore the paper in the teacher's face. And I was just so angry and nothing made it.
Bruno seemed to be having a panic attack, and I did the only thing that I thought would help. I hugged him and rubbed his back. Hey, breathe, dude. Just breathe slowly. I've been in worse situations, okay? I'm just saying that to make you feel better. But still, detention is like a second home to me. It worked, and he chuckled.
You are one crazy chick.
I've been told that before. The next day at lunch, I was sitting with my friends and Bruno came, and everyone looked at him like he was some alien, but not me. Sure, you can sit here. Wait, Sonny, can you give up your seat for this kid? Come on, friend.
Friend? Thanks. I like that.
After that day, Bruno and my friendship only grew, and we became best friends. Everyone thought he was a snob, but Bruno was just the quiet type. He was one in a million. By the time I was in 8th grade, I started thinking his smile was really cute. Wait, did I have a crush on Bruno? No way. It's probably just that best friend of the opposite gender feeling. But when we returned to school after summer vacation, I wanted to start off the new year with something special. So I gave Bruno a chocolate bar.
Geez, thanks.
And after just one bite, his face turned red.
What the heck did you put in this?
Looks like I went a little overboard with the chili powder.
I'll get you for this.
Saying that, Bruno chased after me, but someone came in front of me. I skidded to the side and then crashed on the floor. And then I saw Bruno and a girl looking at me.
Are you okay? Please tell me that you're all right.
Lara, you almost gave me a heart attack. Tell me you're okay.
Yeah, I feel fine. Bruno and the girl helped me up. And then she told me that her name was Valerie, and she had just moved into the town. Amazingly, she was with Bruno and me in our class. Pretty soon, Valerie, Bruno, and I became a team. We did everything together. We'd study together and even go out together. All 3 of us even joined the cheerleading squad together. One time, all 3 of us went out for a movie, and while Bruno was in line getting us popcorn that was slower than a snail at a snail funeral, the only thing I focused on was how handsome Bruno was.
Why don't you tell him how you feel, huh?
What?
Come on, it's all over your face. Just tell him.
Right then I saw Bruno coming and Valerie started giggling.
Did I miss something?
No, Lara wants to tell you something. Something very important.
Yeah, I did. I just totally forgot to tell you what a cute little girl you look like in that pink t-shirt. Seriously, dude?
You bought it for me, so thanks, I guess. So that was it.
Come on, the movie's starting. Let's go. Gosh, I could never tell Bruno that I liked him, like in a different way. When we finally had our summer vacations, Bruno went to his grandma's in Florida, and I missed him a lot. But thank God I had Valerie now. She once invited me to her home, and I was literally shocked to see how big it was.
Whoa, Valerie, you're rich! Yeah, my mom actually won the lottery before I was born. Can you believe it? It's so crazy!
Wow, lucky you! Valerie's mom was so nice, and I was having an amazing time with them. A few days later, there was a carnival in our town, and we both met there in the evening. Mom was running late, so while Valerie's mom sat, we both went to the Ferris wheel ride. We were having so much fun, and then heard noises and looked down. I was shocked to see Mom arguing with Valerie's mom.
Don't tell me where to live and where not to. I can do whatever I want.
Oh yeah? Like steal more things? You stole from your own sister? I won that lottery and you stole the ticket and just vanished. And now you have the guts to show your face after all these years?
What the heck? Valerie's mom was my mom's sister. Before Valerie and I could say anything, both of our moms grabbed our hands and left. I didn't get to talk to Valerie for the rest of the summer vacation. But when we went back to school, I really wanted to sort things out. After all, she was my cousin. But the moment I said hi to her, she blew me off.
Stay away from me! I don't ever want to talk to you! Your mom called my mom a thief!
Okay, that really pissed me off. Don't be a jerk. The big house you were flaunting that day, it's all thanks to my mom. The fact remains the same. Your mom is a thief. Hearing this, she pushed me hard and I landed in the dustbin.
Stay there or I swear I'll ruin you! You know what? I'll tell Bruno you have a crush on him. No! On second thought, I'll make sure that he hates you. Watch me destroy you!
What did she think I was? A coward! I jumped and grabbed her hair, and before we knew it, we were both in a catfight. We were later taken to the principal's office, and both of our moms were called, and it turned into a battleground. I had never seen this side of my mom, and it just made me realize her sister hurt her bad. After that day, things got tough. Valerie would always pick on me, and I would always retaliate. It seemed she was a totally different person. One time we were in art class, and I was minding my own business when Valerie came and started telling me how bad my painting was. Like I ever needed her approval. I was so done with her, so I pushed her just a little. But the girl landed on her painting, knocking out all of the paints from the table, in a really dramatic way. And then she literally started screaming like a banshee.
Ouch! My foot! Lara, why would you do that? I told you I'm sorry for everything. And still...
OMG, what a liar! The teacher and all the kids in the class gathered around us, and Valerie kept on with her fake crying. Shut up, Valerie, or else I'll...
Stop it, you two! Laura, what has gotten into you?
I couldn't believe Bruno was on her side. I told him she was faking it. But Valerie cried harder, and Bruno looked so concerned about her, ignoring me. He picked up Valerie, took her out of the class while I was sent to the principal's office, and I got detention. When it was time to go home, Bruno came to see me and kept telling me how I had hurt Valerie. I wished he wasn't that blind. For God's sake, she's faking it! Bruno, you have to choose. It's either me or Valerie.
Laura, you're both my friends. I just can't choose.
Whoa! Oh, I see. Well, fine. I couldn't believe this. I pushed him out of the way and ran home. That was the worst day of my life. Bruno tried to talk to me at school. He called me and texted me so many times. He even visited me at home. But I didn't want to see him because I was just so angry. I even stopped talking to my friends and would eat lunch in the classroom alone. I just couldn't see Valerie and Bruno sitting together, and the way she gave me those wicked smirks. I hated her so much, but I channeled all of my attention into my studies, and sometimes even the teachers would ask me to crack a joke or something, saying they missed the goofy old Lara. But that Lara, well, she was gone. After 9th grade, I switched schools and cut off all ties with my friends. From there, I wanted to start new, and I was going to do well in my new school. I got into competitive cheerleading, and one time in high school, we had a competition. And after the first routine, I spotted Bruno backstage. The moment our eyes met, I tripped and scraped my knee. At once, Bruno came running to me and helped me out. And then he brought out a bandage to put it on the little scrape. He still cared for me like he used to. He had just gotten even more handsome.
It's good. Now you'll survive the next round, so, how have you been?
Without even answering, I got up to leave, but he held my hand.
Aw, Laura, I've missed you so much. I am so sorry. I tried contacting you, but you shut me out. I had been meaning to tell you how I felt. Then everything got crazy. But just hear me out, please.
Gosh, I had missed him too, like crazy in these 2 years. But when I was about to say something, I heard an ugly voice.
Come on, Bruno, it's our routine. Oh, a blast from the past. I see you're still a clumsy little thing.
Oh, I see that you're still a little witch. I was determined to win the competition because I knew what it meant to Valerie. So I put my all into these routines. When Valerie's team performed, their performance was all glitz and glamour, with fireworks at the end. So extra. When we were all called onto the stage for the results, it turned out Valerie and my team had a tie, and we had to share the trophy.
Heck, no way, this trophy is mine.
Not on my watch! Just then, I let go of the trophy, and Valerie went crashing backwards. She totally deserved it. All of a sudden, there was smoke, and someone screamed fire. It turned out the stupid fireworks Valerie and her team did at the end of the routine caused a fire. It was panic and chaos all over. The entire hall had been emptied, but while running to the exit, I realized Valerie was still there where she had fallen. I just couldn't leave her. Valerie, where are you?
Lara, I'm here. I'm stuck.
Just when I moved forward to look for her, someone grabbed me and dragged me out of the hall. It was Bruno. Oh my god, Valerie's still in there. Someone's gotta help her. Bruno, we've gotta go back in there.
Oh no, Valerie, someone please get my baby out of there? Please!
The fire was blazing and I felt my heart sink. But then Mom came to my aunt.
Don't worry, I'll get her. Don't you dare lose hope. Everyone stay back.
Mom went inside, and each minute felt like 1,000 years. I was so worried. Seeing my aunt cry, I went and sat by her side, and she instantly hugged me.
I'm so sorry, honey. I'm so sorry for everything. I hurt your mom because of what I did. Your and Valerie's friendship suffered. I'm so sorry for everything. I just hope my Valerie will be all right.
At that moment, I regretted each and every mean word I'd ever said to Valerie. All the drama, all the fights, none of that mattered right now. The only thing that mattered was family. And just then, I saw Mom coming out of the hall. She was carrying Valerie in her arms.
Thank God they were both safe.
All of a sudden, there were cheers and happy tears, and we all hugged. Me, Mom, Valerie, and my aunt. We all hugged like there was no tomorrow. After we were given first aid, Bruno and I sat on a bench and watched as Mom and my aunt patched things up. They were all in tears after my aunt thanked and apologized so much. It seemed Mom was willing to give her another chance.
You gotta admit, you have one really dramatic family.
Says the boy who blew his own fuse getting an F. Yep, I still remember that. By the way, what were you saying earlier? Something you wanted to tell me?
Oh, that was nothing. I mean, it was something like,
Oh my gosh, Lara. Bruno likes you a lot. And Lara likes you too. Sorry, guys. I had to. You guys would have taken forever.
I just shook my head and laughed and then looked into Bruno's eyes. We kissed for the first time and it was perfect. Hi, I'm Lucy from the USA. Before we dive into the story, please like and subscribe. I'm just an ordinary high school girl living next door. Pretty, talented, and great at parties. I had everything I could ever wish for. Even my parents were awesome. There was just one thing I truly desired. A boyfriend. I had dated before, but all those guys turned out to be jerks. I even agreed to go out with a nerd once, hoping he'd surprise me. Never making that mistake again. No thank you. Next. I was starting to lose hope of ever finding my Prince Charming. That was until Mike came into my world years later in high school. My eyes were instantly hooked onto him. The looks, the smile, and the muscles showing under his shirt. I just had to have him, so I asked him out. Something I would never do normally, but it all worked out, because he said yes. It didn't take long for us to finally have our first dinner date. It was amazing. He was such a gentleman and knew just the right things to say. I knew the moment he took my hand that he was the one, but I couldn't shake the feeling of déjà vu, like I'd met Mike before. Oh well, I'm sure it's nothing. For the next few months, we went on many different dates, traveling all over the city, eating wonderful foods, and studying together at night. Everything was perfect. We had finally found a good boyfriend, and he was a keeper. But of course, something just had to happen to ruin it. Mike had planned a date at a fancy new restaurant downtown. I was so excited. I actually got ready early this time and speed walked to the restaurant with a spring in my step. But when I finally got there, my heart fell to the floor and shattered. Sitting next to my boyfriend was another girl with her arm around his shoulder. I didn't care if he looked a bit uncomfortable. I wasn't taking this betrayal lying down, so I burst through the doors and marched straight up to the duo's seat. Who is this?
Lucy, you're early.
Answer the question, Mike. How could you cheat on me?
Wait, I didn't cheat.
Who is this then?
Hello, you must be Lucy. I've been looking forward to meeting you. I'm Mike's big sister. The name's Vecta.
The girl's cheeky smirk nearly made me get physical, but her last words registered just in time. Sister?
Yep. I wanted to see who claimed my brother's heart and changed him so much. You see, I'm very interested because Mike and I are very close.
That's funny because he never mentioned you.
I thought I'd introduce you when the time was right. But since Vecta's here, I guess there's no time like the present.
Well, nice to meet you, but we are supposed to be on a date. I don't want to be mean or anything, but...
She's right, Vecta. You should go home. I'll be back soon.
Oh, she didn't like that. She looked at us both and instead of leaving, got comfortable.
Nah, you two just act like I'm not even here. You won't even notice me. Besides, I'm starving.
Fine.
Fine. It wasn't fine with me. But she was a sister, and it was just one evening. How hard would it be to get through? It turns out, really hard. She kept interrupting nonstop. Oh, Mike, I have this really funny story to tell you.
Ha ha! That's hilarious. Oh, stop it, Lucy. I think I just peed a little.
I didn't even tell it yet.
But I know it's really funny. You just said so yourself. Which reminds me, Mike, I've got a joke that'll make you poop. So a duck and a chicken walk into a bar.
She kept picking up food from Mike's plate and fussing over him.
Why would you order this dish? You hate olives and broccoli? Here, I'll take those. Also, you've got sauce on your face. There, I got it. Do you need to blow your nose, Mikey?
And when she wasn't acting like his freaking mother, she kept staring daggers at me. I tried to act like I wasn't bothered at all and leaned over to feed Mike some of my pasta. But seconds later, he started coughing and turning blue.
Oh my God, you poisoned him!
What? Of course I didn't. Mike, are you okay? Say something.
He can't, you moron. His tongue is swollen. What is in that pasta? Blueberries, kiwis, dandelion tea, rose hip oil, Diet Coke.
No.
Honey, oysters, anchovies.
Yes, it has anchovies.
Don't you know anything about him at all?
And with that, she quickly reached into her bag, pulled out an EpiPen, and stabbed him with it in the thigh. He gasped and coughed some more, but he could finally breathe.
What would you do without me, bro?
The date ended after that, thankfully. And as I went home, I hoped it was the last I'd ever see of her. But for the next 2 months, it was the same. No matter where we went and what we did, Vecta was there to ruin it. Mike just couldn't seem to shake her off and would let her stay. And she kept making it obvious that she disapproved of me greatly. I'd catch her staring at me with disdain, like I wasn't worthy of him or something. It didn't feel like the frustrations of some jealous ex, thank God. But it was something serious enough to squeeze herself in on our dates and annoy me while wearing the most outlandish cosplay outfits and hairstyles. So childish, it was even affecting Mike. He had been looking more downcast lately. What?
Look, she's my sister and I have been neglecting her recently.
But what about our date today?
She would just crash it as usual. I promise we'll hang out this weekend. Just the two of us.
He kissed me on the cheek and then left me devastated and confused. That night in bed, I stayed up pounding my pillow imagining it was Vecta's face. I wanted her private time back, but as much as I wanted to slap her, violence wasn't the solution. Instead, I needed to know what Vecta's problem was. There must be a reason for why she was acting the way she was. Luckily, a puzzle piece fell into place during the weekend. As promised, I was hanging out with Mike at his place. We were watching a cheesy romance movie while snuggling on the couch. Right on time, Vecta came out of nowhere and inserted herself into our lives again. No, literally. She came and sat between us on the couch holding a dead potted plant.
You let the plant die? The plant that symbolizes our bond as brother and sister.
I've never even seen that plant before. Vecta, what do you want?
A plant that's alive. But I guess that ship has sailed. Do you know what next week is? Michael?
Michael? Now why did that name sound so familiar? Before I could remember anything, Mike let out a loud sigh.
I told you not to call me by that name.
Whatever. Now guess before I call you by your real name again.
That's your real name?
Used to be anyway. I don't know what's happening next week, Vecta. Can you just leave us alone today?
A part of me was jumping for joy at the way Mike snapped at her, but another part noticed how hurt Vecta looked. I gave in to my more merciful half. What's happening next week, Vecta?
It's the annual LARPing Capture, the flag event for our city.
LARPing? Like the thing nerds do outside? Playing pretend?
Yeah. Figures you would say that. Are you attending it with me, Michael? You can even bring your girlfriend.
Why would I do that? That's for losers.
Then Lucy should fit right in.
That was it. What is your problem? You!
Sis.
No, everything was fine before she showed up in your life.
I could say the same for you.
Stop it, you two.
No, not if we want this to stop for good. Vecta, I have a proposal.
Interesting. Shoot!
We'll join your stupid game. Do we play in teams?
Oh, I see where you're going with this. Yeah, we do. I'll be on the team opposing yours.
If my team wins, you'll stop interfering in our relationship.
And if mine wins, you'll break up with Michael.
That is not your choice to make, Vecta.
What? Scared she'll lose? Get bored of you in the game? Walking away from both?
What? I wouldn't do that. I love Michael, and I'll prove it by beating you. Deal?
Deal.
We shook hands, and I suddenly realized I just made a deal with the devil. All because I let my emotions get the better of me. I don't even know how to LARP. But there was no backing down now. My relationship was on the line.
Before this is over, I'm going to remind my brother of who he really is. All while kicking you to the curb where you belong. Good luck. You're gonna need it.
Vecta left, and I slumped down on the couch. What did I just sign myself up for? Mike sighed before looking at me with determination.
If we're going to do this, then I'll have to train you.
You know how to LARP?
Of course not. I just picked up some things from my sister.
If you say so. Where do we start?
Conditioning.
Say what? Mike was not joking. I was put through actual exercises and drills like I was preparing for the army. I was seconds away from giving up, but I refused to lose to Vecta. So I pushed on. And you know what? I'm glad I kept at it. Sure, the conditioning was terrible, but once I was actually playing the game, it felt like I was in another world. It was magical and so different from anything I was used to. But what really made it all worth it was Mike. He was really enjoying himself. That and his immense knowledge on LARPing made it clear he had played before, although he refused to admit it. I hadn't seen him smile like this since, ever. Really. And if he was happy, I was happy. Eventually the weekend came and it was finally time for the event. And when we arrived at the venue, oh my God, there were at least 200 people here. They had even built small buildings and tents, and the large space with a nice forest surrounding us made it even more picturesque. Before I could really appreciate the beauty, Veta came running up to Mike.
Michael, you really came.
Of course, we both did.
Hello.
Oh yeah, I almost forgot about you. Are you sure she won't slow you down? I'd hate for you to lose because of a handicap.
Hey!
No worries. She's a natural. She even started to like it.
She did?
Yep, this isn't so bad.
I'm sure she's just faking it. I'll prove it by winning this thing.
Before Mike could say anything, Vecta fled into the crowd. She really doesn't trust me, huh?
I'm sorry.
No need to apologize. She's just a...
No. She's lonely, okay? Please don't hate her for this. It's my fault anyway.
Before I could dig further, a horn echoed throughout the field. It was almost time. The two teams, red and green, got into position. The 2 flags were placed in their proper bases. Finally, the next horn signaled the start of the battle. I kept close to Mike. Despite the training, this was still nerve-wracking. It was a struggle at first, but eventually I got used to it and started having fun. I could tell Mike was having a blast, too. Even more so when he noticed I was having fun, too. Eventually, our squad was closing in on the enemy camp. Our leader suggested a pincer attack. Mike was on the other attack squad, which nearly caused me to panic. But a comforting hand on the shoulder later, I calmed down. So we split up and went deeper into the forest. And this is where things got bad. One by one, my squad was picked off by some archer in the woods. It didn't take long for me to be the last one standing. That's when the culprit revealed herself.
I'm surprised you lasted this long.
Vecta, of course. We stared each other down before Vecta drew her foam sword and shield.
Let's make a new deal. The first one to get a hit wins. Same conditions from before apply.
I drew my own sword and shield. Fine.
Good. Prepare for failure.
Wasting no time, Vecta charged at me as if this was a life-and-death battle, and I responded in kind. I wasn't losing my relationship with Mike. We clashed repeatedly, trading blows on our shields, unable to get a body shot. Shockingly, I was holding my own. Mike had taught me well, touched an attack to my leg, and asked the burning question in my head. What is your problem with me dating Mike? Shouldn't you be happy for him? Now, that really got her mad, and she was lashing out even harder.
You seriously haven't figured it out? Of course not. Why would someone like you remember some poor nerdy boy who bravely asked the popular girl out?
Huh? Suddenly it all fell into place. Mike was Michael, the nerdy boy I had turned down all those years ago.
Michael used to be a big nerd, just like me, and we were always super close. But he decided to abandon who he is to become the kind of guy you'd want. A typical Prince Charming. I barely even recognize him now.
I felt ashamed of how I hadn't even given Michael a chance before I judged him by his appearance. Before I even got to know how sweet and amazing he was. But I knew that now, and I liked everything about him, nerdy side and all. I wasn't so shallow anymore. With renewed determination, I took advantage of Vecta's rash attacks and finally got a hit on her side. And she lost. She was about to break down into tears, but before that could happen, I hugged her. I get why you hate me, Vecta. And I'm sorry for turning him down like that before. Your brother is a great guy and I would never want to change him.
Are you serious?
Just then the horn blew, signaling someone had won. We ran back to the team and the sight brought another smile to our faces. Mike? No. Michael was being carried by his team while holding the green flag. And the smile he wore melted my heart. We won.
My brother is something special, huh?
He sure is.
Hi there, I'm Melissa. I grew up in a small town in Turkey and I recently found out that I'm adopted. And my dad doesn't know I know. Since then, all I've wanted is to find my real parents. Alright, let's dive into my crazy adventure. I never met my mother, but I was raised by the most incredible father. He was a carpenter, and even though we were never wealthy, I had everything I required. What I cherished most were books. Dad would read to me every night, and I became obsessed. When I joined school and discovered the library, I felt like I'd gone to heaven. And I always preferred my friends from stories over real people. Once in 6th grade, I needed to use the dictionary. So I went to Dad's room and climbed a stool to take it down from the shelf. Just then, the stool under me wobbled, and I went crashing to the floor with some books. As I started picking everything up, I saw something that left me shook. It was a picture of a couple holding a baby, and the woman looked exactly like me. She had to be my mom, and the man next to her was my real dad. I turned the picture over and all it said was Vienna, 2005. That was the year I was born. Were my biological parents in Vienna? I slipped the picture into my pocket. Dad had hidden it, and I needed to understand why. I planned to confront him that evening, but he didn't come home. Hours passed, and he wouldn't even pick up his phone. Just then, there was a loud knock on the door, and it was Dad's friends from work bringing him in a wheelchair. Oh my God, Dad, what happened? He'd had a terrible fall at work and wasn't allowed to walk for months. Even after he fully healed, he had a lasting limp. Now, I set aside all thoughts of questioning him about my biological parents. I didn't want to make things harder for him. Once in the 8th grade, I'd gone with Dad to the market, when suddenly he got a cramp in his leg and lost his balance. He went crashing straight into a wealthy-looking man, who in turn fell onto a food seller stall, bringing down the whole thing with him. As I helped Dad up, the wealthy man turned to him furiously.
You blind, ignorant man! Look what you've done! My suit is ruined! Do you know what it costs? More than your house, I'm sure!
Don't talk to my father like that. He didn't do it intentionally. He has an injured leg.
So why is this cripple going around causing trouble for everyone else? I want the money for my suit!
You may have all the wealth in the world, sir, but you certainly don't have any compassion. My father's ailment is something he can't help. But what's your excuse for your cold, unfeeling, dead heart?
Hey kid, just shut up, and...
But just then, a rich-looking lady stepped forward.
Don't talk like that to the child. Will this solve your problem?
She waved a thick bundle of cash in his face. In 2 seconds, the man's anger was gone. The rich lady even gave money to the stall owner, and she offered to take me and Dad home. We invited her in, and soon after she said something completely unexpected.
I'm so impressed with you, Melissa. And this might sound strange, but would you like to come live with me in Vienna? I would love to send you to a really good school.
Vienna? That's where my real parents were from. This was my chance to look for them. She even said she'd hired Dad as a handyman on her estate. I was really eager to go. And within a week, we'd packed up our lives and moved. The lady's estate was 5 times larger than my school. And Dad and I were given a small cottage to live in. And just a few days later, the lady told me I'd be joining her daughter's school. On my first day, as I walked up to the lady's car, a girl suddenly pushed me aside.
Oh, maid! Where do you think you're going? Go clean something!
Where are your manners? Rose, this is the amazing girl I told you about, and I'd like you two to be friends.
Oh, she's your charity case. She looks like her only friends would be cows and baby goats.
And what is so distasteful about being friends with such lovely creatures? May I ask?
No, you may not ask me anything. Who talks like that? Freak!
I stay quiet during all the commutes to our school, but Rose doesn't. When we arrived, she yelled at me.
Hey, hurry up, poor cat. If I'm late, it's on you.
You're a jerk! Suddenly, a guy walks up to me.
Hey, welcome to the new school, loser.
Wow, who were these people? Turns out the jerk was in my class along with Rose. I could see them all looking me up and down, but I just ignored them. Later at recess, I sat alone, reading. The boy took a seat at my table with his friends behind him.
I don't think I introduced myself before. I'm Vincent. What's your name?
You can call me whatever you like. After all, what's in a name?
Huh, what are you saying?
Would a rose smell less sweet if it was named garbage? Would a fire not burn us if it was called a flower? Would I be less annoyed by you if my name wasn't Melissa? The answer is no.
Why are you talking like that, weirdo? So your name's Melissa? That's kind of pretty.
You don't need to remember it. I don't think we'll have much to do with each other. And with that, I just left.
Aw, poor Vincent. How does it feel to be rejected by a girl?
Oh, please. I just need a little time with her, and she'll be head over heels in love. I can work my magic on any girl.
Well, I'm not so sure about this one.
Challenge accepted.
It was no surprise that Vincent and Rose were best friends, and their gang was the meanest bunch of kids around. I'd see them picking on smaller kids at recess, or poking fun at their classmates. They didn't even spare the teachers. So I was horrified when the physics teacher announced that I'd be paired with Vincent for a project. But he looked delighted. I tried ignoring him and was reading the science book to figure out something, when suddenly he snatched it from me.
Why are you always staring at a book when you could be looking at more beautiful things like me?
I don't have time for your nonsense! Vincent, give that back!
Okay, but only if you agree to go out with me.
I'd rather jump off a cliff!
Wrong answer!
And with that, he ripped some pages out and threw the book in the trash bin. What is the matter with you? Don't you have any respect for anyone or anything? God, you're such an imbecile.
Why do you use such strange words? An imbe, what?
What now? An imbecile. It means a fool, an idiot, a dummy, a moron. I pushed him away and he went crashing into our half-finished project. I didn't even care. There was no way I was working with him. A few days later, I was walking back home when suddenly it started to pour heavily. As I dashed through the rain, a car stopped me and Vincent rolled down the window.
Hey, you're gonna get sick! Get in the car!
I'd rather catch pneumonia.
Oh my god, just get in! Hate me later!
Reluctantly, I got in, and a minute later we were driving up to his gigantic mansion. He quickly led me to the fireplace in the library, and my mouth was just wide open. Never seen so many books in one place in my whole life. What a treasure this is!
Well, you're welcome to take some. I don't read them, and my parents are hardly ever here.
I felt a bit sorry for him. That sounded lonely. And suddenly I remembered something. Oh my god, my parents' picture. I dug through my pockets to find it all wet, and I started flapping it around to dry it.
What's that? And why are you acting crazy?
It's the only picture I have of my real parents. I told him how I discovered it, and that I carried it around with me, hoping I'd find them somewhere.
I think I could help you with that. My parents know a good private investigator. He could probably track them down.
Do you really mean that? That would be amazing! Thank you so much! As we spent some time talking, I felt myself warming up to Vincent. I suddenly turned to him. Vincent, why do you act that way in school?
What do you mean?
I mean, you have everything in the world, and you're wasting every opportunity to learn. And all you do is tease and mock other people. I'm sure your life isn't perfect, but that's not an excuse to be the worst version of yourself. Most of the time I thought he'd be really mad, but instead he took my hand.
I'm sorry, you've only seen the worst of me. I'll try to change that.
He kissed me on the cheek before he turned away, and for some reason I couldn't stop smiling all the way home. As I was walking down to the cottage, Rose suddenly jumped out from behind a tree.
Is that Vincent's car you just got off from? Why?
It's none of your business, Rose.
Vincent is very much my business. I know you have a wild imagination, but don't start dreaming that someone like him could ever like you. I pushed her aside and walked off. She was crazy, as if I wanted someone like Vincent. Or did I? He was just so nice. After that day, he'd come sit next to me in the cafeteria, help me carry my stuff. And one time, as I was walking back home, he leapt out of a car and decided to walk with me. He told me the investigator was hopeful we'd find my parents really soon. And a few days later, when he asked me to be his date for the Christmas dance at school, I really couldn't refuse. Dad had surprised me one evening with the most beautiful dress, and at the dance, I felt like someone straight out of a fairy tale. I was searching for Vincent in the hall when I felt a gentle tap on my shoulder.
Wow, you look really beautiful, Melissa.
He took my hand and led me to the dance floor, and it felt like we were in our own little world. At the end of the song, he suddenly pulled me closer and leaned in to kiss me. Everyone around us was clapping and cheering as I kissed him back. During the evening, I went to freshen up in the bathroom, and when I returned, I found Vincent in a corner with Rose and his friends.
Wow, Vincent, you really take a challenge seriously. You said you could make any girl fall for you, and you proved it. That kiss could have fooled even me. Melissa has totally fallen for your Prince Charming act. It's gonna be so much fun when you dump her.
That's what I was, a challenge! Vincent looked shocked as they all turned around to see me behind them.
No, Melissa, wait! It's not what you—
I suddenly slapped him hard. Why did I think you were actually a decent human being? You even pretended to help me find my parents just to convince me that you cared. You're the most vile person I've had the misfortune to meet. I hate you. No, I despise you. I didn't go to school for days. I just didn't want to see anyone's face. But one day, Dad walked into my room holding a package.
A boy from your school dropped this, saying it was important. Forgive me for opening it first, but Melissa, you've known about your parents, and you've been looking for them.
Wait, what? Dad? I'm sorry. I just needed to know. He gave me the package as he sat down on my bed, and I looked through the papers with trembling hands. The first was a newspaper clipping saying my parents were politicians who had been sentenced to prison for 25 years for stealing state funds.
I worked at your parents' house. When they were arrested, you were going to be sent to an orphanage, and I just really wanted a kid. So I adopted you. Melissa, I kept the truth from you because I thought it would only make you upset. I'm sorry if I haven't been the best dad.
I jumped forward and hugged him, tears pouring down my face. No! You're the most amazing dad anyone could possibly have. I just wanted to know who they were. But it's not because I've ever been unhappy with you as my father. Not ever. Dad hugged me back.
If you ever want to see them, I'll arrange a visit, okay? It won't bother me at all. I know you're my daughter. By the way, that boy just left if you want to talk to him.
I ran out the door after Vincent, who was walking down to the gate. Why did you do that? Your stupid challenge was over, right? Why did you make an effort to find my parents?
Melissa, it did start off as a stupid challenge, and I wasn't planning on falling for you. But I did. Almost instantly. What I feel for you is real and true. I wouldn't have made all that effort if I didn't love you. You're the most special girl I've ever met, and you make me want to be a better person. I'm so sorry for hurting you. Please forgive me, will you?
I looked into his earnest eyes and slowly smiled. I'd rather go down with the Titanic. but I stepped closer and pulled him in for a kiss. Hi, my name is Emma and I'm from Washington. Don't forget to like and subscribe. My parents abandoned me when I was just born. Thankfully, a wealthy man took me in from the street to be a servant in his mansion. I slept in a storage room. It wasn't bad, but I always wondered what the other private rooms were like. One day, when the owners were out, I sneaked into a luxurious bedroom. OMG, it's so bouncy and soft! I climbed onto the bed and jumped around playfully. Suddenly, someone appeared outside the door and shouted at me.
Ew, maid! What the heck are you doing in my room?
She is Amy, the boss's wife. At the same time, the boss also walked in.
Darcy, where did you find this rat?
Keep your cool, darling. Hey, kid, why are you here?
Oh, wait, let me check if she's stolen anything. Don't try to flee, maid.
No, I didn't do that, but can I take this bed to my room, or at least let me jump on it one last time?
Oh, what a mischievous girl.
When I turned to the Amy, she was glaring at me. Terrified, I ran out of the room. A few days later, I met the boss's daughter, Emily. She was introverted, so I took the initiative to befriend her. Despite our 4-year age difference, we became besties. In the next 2 years, Emily even insisted that her father send me to the elite school with her, and he agreed. On my first day at the new school, I was very anxious, but my classmates were very friendly, and we quickly became close. I excelled academically, scoring straight A's on tests, but poor things is, Emily kept getting F's. I tried to help Emily with her homework and realized that she struggled with understanding. I tried talking to Mrs. Amy to find a solution, but she thought everything I said was just made up.
Come on, darling. Our girl is only 8 and still has plenty of time to learn.
But ma'am, I think Emily is having some difficulties with her communication and—
Shut up! It's not your place to speak!
On Amy's birthday party, she announced in front of many people that Emily would recite a poem for her. But you can guess, Emily couldn't read and stood there trembling. All eyes were on her. I couldn't let her be in this situation any longer, so I stepped up to the stage, took the mic, and said loudly, "Well, she's just a bit nervous." So we read it together. Emily leaned close to me and whispered,
Thank you, Emma.
The boss realized his daughter was truly struggling. The next day, he took her for an evaluation, and the doctor diagnosed her with dyslexia. He arranged for a special tutor and asked me to help Emily. Years passed, and Emily gradually overcame her problems with our support. She even achieved excellent academic results and won numerous medals in various subjects. At Emily's 14th birthday party, while I was preparing food in the kitchen, she called me to join them.
Emma, you're not a maid, you're my sis. Let's enjoy the party.
She picked out a stunning dress and told me to wear it. Suddenly, Mr. Amy rushed over, snatched the dress from my hands, pulled Emily into a corner, and said something to her. Mr. Darcy tried to lift my mood by asking me to take pictures with Emily.
Come on, Emma, you've helped her so much.
But as I approached, Emily suddenly became agitated and pushed me away.
Dad, I'm tired. Can we stop this stupid party?
My boss was left speechless and she walked away, leaving us stunned. What? What's wrong with her? The next morning, when it was time to go to school, she told the driver to leave me behind, so I had to take the bus. When I bumped into her in the school hallway, I asked, "Emily, why are you acting so weird?"
Please, take your dirty hands off me, rat!
Wait, OMG, what did you just say? I was jaw-dropped. What was happening felt like such a nightmare.
Why are you so close with my dad?
Actually, I was also curious why the boss seemed to treat me better than the other servants. Emily, he often asked me to help you.
Call me Miss Emily, okay?
Well, Miss Emily, you really let me down. I swung my hand and accidentally slapped Emily, causing her to fall to the floor. I tried to pick her up, but she suddenly lunged at me and pulled my hair. We struggled on the ground while our classmates yelled in excitement. The fight only stopped when the teacher arrived, and we were both suspended for a week. I was so angry that I couldn't even look at her. The older her got, the more she seemed to resemble Mrs. Amy, arrogant and harsh. On the next few days, Brian, her cousin, returned from France, and she was thrilled because she really got along with him. That night, while I was reading a book, Brian approached me.
You're smart and kind, right? I've heard how you've been helping Emily with her studies.
Oh, it's my pleasure to help Miss Emily.
Well, by the way, aside from studying, what else do you enjoy?
I love sing and dance.
Ah, we're on the same frequency.
We went to the studio and I started humming a song. He seemed to be completely immersed in every single melody. But I didn't expect that Mrs. Amy and Emily would catch us together. That night, Emily texted me, asking me to come to her room. When I opened the door, Emily threw a book straight at my face. It was the gift I had given her for her birthday last year.
Get this trash out of here and go away, rat! Why are you trying to take everything from me? Acting like a poor cat to make my dad take you home, and then trying to seduce my cousin!
Hey, stop suspecting that Cat is sneaking carrots. I didn't take anything from you. She grabbed scissors and rushed toward me. Emily, you're psycho!
You better watch what you say! Underestimating me could be your last mistake!
Your anger has turned you to evil! I pushed her aside to escape from her room, feeling both scared and angry, wondering why she'd become so weird. The next day, Brian suggested to the boss that he wanted to take me to France with him so they could enroll me in a talent dance class. Oh my gosh, this was an amazing opportunity for me to pursue my dream. I jumped for joy.
Are you guys dreaming? Crazy! Your nephew will take my servant to nowhere. He's not allowed to do that.
But why?
No means no. The rat can't have a lavish dinner.
Brian clenched his teeth and left immediately. I cried in desperation. A dream life had appeared before my eyes, but it vanished like a nightmare. One day I will leave this house, escape from cruel Amy and her ungrateful daughter. That Christmas night, the snow was falling heavier. The next morning, when I woke up, I found a beautiful dress on my bed along with a note asking me to wear it for the family party. How family? Do I have a family? I flipped the note over and saw the boss's name. That evening, I ran into Emily, and we both stood jaw-dropping for several seconds.
What?
Oh, how adorable. You two look like real twins. Do you guys like the dresses?
I put on a fake smile as Emily shot me a harsh glare.
This is the stupidest thing I've ever seen! An outfit won't turn a rat into a swan!
Immediately, she grabbed the fire extinguisher and sprayed it straight at me.
Emily, stop!
Something unexpected happened when Mrs. Amy snatched the extinguisher from Emily and yelled at her.
You lost your mind. You could hurt her.
You just lost control! Are you siding with her, Mom? I hate all of you!
Emily stormed off, and for the first time, Mrs. Amy was acting like that. A few days later, Emily went live, sobbing and fabricating an entirely false story.
Today, I'm going to expose a deceitful jerk who has ruined my family's happiness. Emma, the witch, has managed to enchant my dad, my cousin, and even my beloved mother. My dad made a huge mistake bringing that dirty servant into our home.
What the? I burst into her room, using all my strength to stop the live stream. Soon after, her parents also rushed into the room.
Emily, stop that. We didn't raise you to behave like this.
If you keep acting like this, we'll have no choice but to send you to reform school.
Mom, you said Emma is a vixen, and you were the one who came up with the plan to teach her a lesson, right?
Emily's words shocked both me and Darcy.
Oh, it seems like Emma is actually the most beloved person in this mansion. So here's no reason for me to stay here any longer.
Emily laughed like a maniac and walked away. What's happening?
Emma, please let me explain. You are my daughter. Years ago, I met and loved your mom, Lily, but both families opposed our marriage. Your grandparents arranged for me to marry Amy. Your mother couldn't accept the truth and hid you from me. By the time I found out, she had already passed away and you were placed in an orphanage. The reason I lied and called you a servant was to protect you from trouble. It was all my fault. Please forgive me.
That night was really like a roller coaster for me. Darcy even showed me the birth certificate and DNA test results to prove what he was saying.
Freak, oh, so you were lying to me. You married me because of family arrangements, and it turns out...
Mrs. Amy burst into tears as she charged at the boss, and chaos erupted as they started to fight and argue. I stood there like a statue while Emily walked over and laughed with delight. At school, Emily constantly tried to make my life miserable. She spread rumors that turned everyone against me, hung me out of a window, and put snakes in the bathroom. The torment didn't end. When the boss was away on business, she made me do all the household chores, prohibited me from studying, and scolded and berated me terribly. Of course, Darcy had no way to step in and stop what was happening. On the day the college results were announced, I was accepted into Harvest. It was finally time for me to escape this hell. But before I could celebrate, she and Emily burned the acceptance letter and other important documents, preventing me from starting school on time. My anger reached its peak. Why are you so freakish? What have I ever done to you? Emily has become so cruel because of a witch like you. You'll get your karma.
Jerk, get lost. You worthless piece of trash. You don't belong here. You should go back to the filthy place you came from and behave like your mother did.
I couldn't hold back any longer. Keep my mom's name out of your stupid mouth. I grabbed the nearby broom, ready to give them a beating. Suddenly, my dad grabbed a broom and said,
Don't do that, Emma! And both of you, stop bullying her.
I left in frustration, moved out of the house, and found a new place to stay. I took on part-time jobs to pay for my tuition. I thought my college years would pass like this. One day, after my shift ended, I saw Emily standing outside the door.
Emily? I'm so sorry.
She started to cry.
I know how good you was to me. You taught me, played with me, and protected me from bullies. But I was selfish, thinking you took all the attention from Dad, Brian, and Mom. I realize now that the life I have is something you deserve too. Can we become sisters again?
I understand, Emily. I'm not holding a grudge against you, but maybe I no longer have a chance to go back to that. I smiled warmly at her when suddenly I heard a familiar voice.
Emily said everything I wanted to tell. I used to resent you because your father cared too much about you. I know you're a kind and understanding. Go back to where you belong. Your dad misses you so much. Please, Emma.
Is this what you've been waiting for all this time, Mom? Hi, I'm Elena from Milan, Natalya. Please like and subscribe. I grew up without a dad, but I had a rich mom who owned an international fashion brand. Well, that's also why my parents decided to get divorced, because he couldn't cope with her over-ambitious nature. But to be honest, I'm not that close with my mom. She doesn't have much time for me, and I usually see her once a month after her overseas trips, when she brings me a gazillion toys. I guess that was her way of making up for the absence, but I wasn't complaining. I spend a lot of time chatting with my stuffed penguin and acting out scenes from the stories I watch on the Luna avatar. But as I grew up, I started noticing how absent my mom was from my life. She rarely took me to school, and of course she'd miss important events there all the time. When I was in 5th grade, I was chosen to play Juliet because of my acting skills. I went home and proudly told my mom, "Mom, you have to be there that day!"
All right, sweetie, I promise.
Good night, good night. Parting is such sweet sorrow that I shall say good night till it be morrow. But by the time she reached school, the play was over.
I'm sorry, honey, I got stuck with something important.
I know, Mom, I can never be as important to you as your work.
Sweetheart, I'm doing this for you. One day this company will be yours.
I don't want to work for your stupid company. Mom, you see, my dream is to become an actress. My drama teacher says I have talent and could become as famous as Margot Robbie someday.
OMG, you're delusional. I'll talk to your teacher about putting such silly ideas into your head. Acting is for losers who've got nothing better to do.
You know, nothing happened because my mom was too busy with her fashion shows and had no time to argue anymore. But the acting bug in me never died. I joined the school's drama club and participated in all kinds of plays. Of course, Mom had no clue about it. Once, when I was 17, I was at the mall and noticed a girl who seemed to be following me. She trailed me from the hair salon to the ice cream shop, always giving me a glare. Thought something was fishy, so I cornered her when I got the chance. What's your problem? Did I do something wrong to you? Or if you want an autograph, just say so.
You're such a witch! Stop flirting with my crush!
She lunged at the girl standing next to me, and I felt more embarrassed than the statue of David.
First, he's not your boyfriend, and second, he's already agreed to go out with me.
Grr, if a moron like you hadn't shown up, I would have had a happy relationship.
Hey, don't be so harsh, girl. After helping deal with the stalker, the girl treated me to pizza.
My name's Daisy. Thanks for your help.
Daisy told me about the relationship problem she was facing. She wanted to dump her boyfriend Leo because she'd fallen in love with her new neighbor. New neighbor? Is that the stalker's crush?
Yep.
Your love life is such a mess.
So do you have a BF?
Yes, of course. He's named Jackie. When we first met, it was raining, and he offered me his jacket, and since then I've called him Jackie E. I excitedly told Daisy about the boyfriend in my dreams. Well, by the way, I have a way to help you solve your problem. Pick up the phone and invite your Leo to dinner. Leo was supposed to take Daisy out on a date at a restaurant. Moments after they were seated, I catwalked in with a massive curly wig and the ugliest glasses. The love of my life! The apple pull up my eyes! You said you loved my thick curly hair. Then what are you doing with this witch with a boring ponytail?
Who are you? Do we know each other?
Oh, don't be so cruel, my coochie CUO. I know I've put on 25 ounces, but I promised to put in the extra hours at the gym.
Stop it. Daisy, believe me, I've never met this girl before. She's lying.
Please don't dump me. I can accept you having 2 girlfriends, or I can switch to a ponytail. I'm willing to die for you, my precious, but don't call me liar. I know your favorite color is blue. You love dumplings. You still watch Popeye, and you fart when you sneeze. Daisy simply shook her head.
That doesn't prove anything.
I can't believe you've been cheating on me with this thing. I'm done with you.
With that, Daisy marched off before Leo could make sense of what had just happened. I quietly snuck out too. The next day at school, Daisy and I couldn't stop laughing about the whole thing. You're a liar! Don't call me liar.
Thanks. Your acting skills were so sick that Leo didn't try to contact me again. Now I have time to date my new neighbor at home.
On the other side, things were going from bad to worse between Mom and me. She wanted me to focus on studies, but my heart was in theater. I wanted to join an acting school in New York, but she just wouldn't let me. One morning after a heated argument with Mom, I was rushing to my class when I bumped into something rock solid. What the rock? You got buttons for eyes? I looked up and saw Leo.
Oh, I just transferred to this school because I find it hard to stay away from my girlfriend.
Daisy, huh? I thought you two had broken up.
No, I mean, wasn't I your coochie COO just a few days ago? Actually, you did me a favor too. I knew Daisy was going around with another guy while we were dating.
What? And you still dated her? Are you in that case?
Well, I was about to confront her that day, but you, my savior, made things easier. You put up a nice act, by the way.
He gave me a lopsided smile, and for some reason it made my heart flutter. He knew it was me. Leo was actually pretty cute. Then suddenly he was touching my long, silky hair.
Your hair is gorgeous! It's a shame you hid it behind that ugly wig that day!
I blushed and ran straight into the classroom. It felt completely different from the romantic scenes I had acted in. In the following days, I felt like Leo was intentionally bumping into me. I kept running into him in the auditorium, near the lockers, cafeteria, and restroom. Heck, he even agreed to play the role of a rock in the play I was participating in. Of course, that rock never spoke to me once. One day, as I was coming out of the library, I spotted him standing outside, whistling to himself. I felt extremely annoyed by that manner. Are you stalking me? Let's talk, stupid rock!
I could say the same. You were the one falling all over me a few days back.
I angrily walked towards him to give him a piece of my mind, but I slipped on something and landed straight into his arms.
Oh, did you just fall? For me, again?
Before I could respond, he helped me get back on my feet and then gently pulled off the scrunchie I was wearing.
Your hair looks better this way. Free.
Then he simply turned around and left, leaving me stunned.
Oh, stop, Elena! You'll burn a hole in his shirt if you keep staring like that.
Whoa, you scared me, Daisy!
Wow, you really like him. Oh, sorry, you're still in character, aren't you?
What nonsense! He's not my type!
I would have never dumped him if you looked at me the way he was looking at you.
A week later, we had to go to the supermarket to perform our play, and I got my period on the bus. As I was getting off, Leo pulled me aside and wrapped his jacket around my waist. I rushed to the restroom and changed, and when I came out, I found him waiting outside. Even during the entire performance, he kept his gaze on me. Well, Daisy, it seems like I might be falling for Leo a little.
Yes, I knew it, and I know he feels the same about you. Let's ask him out this weekend.
This weekend's my mom's birthday. That weekend, Mom threw a grand party and invited her friends and business partners. It was such a boring party because everyone was being so fussy. But I had to for Mom's sake. As I sat in a corner sipping my juice, I heard a familiar voice.
Hey, actress! I thought there was nothing cool at a party like this.
But why are you here?
I'm here with my dad, and you?
This is my house. Then we chatted by the pool under the moonlight. Leo was smart and witty, and at one point I was about to ask him out when I noticed Mom gesturing to me to meet her outside.
Oh, my Elena, you look gorgeous in the dress from my newest collection.
Cut the drama. Get to the point, Mom.
Leo is your friend, right? His dad owns a big retail chain. If we get a chance to collaborate, our company could really grow. You know what to do. Seduce him.
I almost told her that I was going to, but then I had an idea. Your company, not our company, and I don't like him.
Please, Elena, think about the business, and I want to see our products.
Okay, but then you'll allow me to apply to that acting school. Yeah, it's like catching two rabbits with one carrot. I can date Leo and pursue my dreams at the same time. The next day, Leo and I started dating. It was pure bliss. He was even better than I had imagined.
You called me a rock? Well, my heart is becoming like a rock because of your beauty.
You're so cheesy, but I like it. Then on my birthday, Leo planned a surprise party for me and invited the entire school. Leo showed up with a huge present. Oh, darling, it's so huge! Let me guess. It's a vase, a stuffed bear, or maybe a guinea pig.
Open it, you'll be surprised.
What? Inside the gift box was just an envelope. I carefully unfolded it. My face turned white when I saw the papers it contained. It was the contract that said his dad's company will be my mom's company's buyer. What the heck?
We performed really well, didn't we, Elena? The goal has been achieved, so we can drop the actress act now.
Leo, I don't understand.
Okay, let me explain, friends. Elena was dating me so she could use me to get my mom to promote her mom's business. I just made her wish come true. That's not true. You know what? I've had enough of your lies. I'm breaking up with you, Elena. Think of this as a parting gift.
Leo left, leaving me completely humiliated. I had to pretend nothing happened to keep everyone from laughing at me. On the way home, I cried as I walked. I had always been confident in my acting skills, but it turned out I was just a fool in my own love scenario. When I got home, I threw the envelope straight at my mom's face.
Hey!
We've achieved our plan. Why don't we throw a party tomorrow? My mom opened the envelope and was thrilled.
Okay, sweetie, time for celebration. Besides Leo, is there anyone else you'd like to invite?
Do whatever you want. We broke up, and tonight I'm going to New York. The acting school accepted my application.
Please don't go, I'll talk to him.
You'll do no such thing! This is the first time I'm leaving home for a foreign city. Not only does it help me forget everything, but it also brings me closer to my dream university. In a few years, my hard work paid off, and I became a popular actress. I even landed the lead role in an upcoming Marvel film. Then one day, I got a call from Mom's doctor who told me her health was deteriorating fast. I rushed back home immediately and found Mom in bed, looking so frail that it shook me. Mom, why did you say you were okay?
I didn't want to bother you, just like how you didn't bother me before. I always thought you were wasting your time with acting, but you've proven me wrong. I'm sorry.
Mom, don't leave me alone!
Don't worry, she was exhausted from work and prolonged stress. But fortunately, we got her to the hospital in time.
I spent my life running after money, and I didn't value the priceless gift life had given me.
I hugged Mom, and it felt amazing. The next day, I went to her office and found out Mom's business had been falling apart for months. But there was one company still buying her products that kept her from completely going bankrupt. Leo's. I decided to meet him and thank him personally. When I went to his office, my heart skipped a beat seeing how handsome he looked.
Elena, it's been a while. You're just as beautiful as ever.
I still feel that spark, something I haven't found with anyone else but Leo. Hey, I just wanted to say thank you for helping with my mom's business. But I'm curious, why did you do it? Especially after humiliating me in front of everyone at the birthday party 5 years ago?
Actually, I overheard the conversation between you and your mom at the party, where she asked you to date me. I really love you, but I thought you were just playing a part. I was heartbroken, feeling like the only girl I'd truly loved was messing with my feelings. After all, Daisy told me everything, but it was too late. You had already left. It was all my fault, my selfishness. Maybe it would have been better if I'd just been a rock.
You loved me still, do? Suddenly, my heart started racing like never before. Then how about we start all over again?
Done deal. But first, I want to do something I've been dying to do since you walked in that door.
Leo leaned closer, and just when I thought he'd kiss me, he pulled off my scrunchie and we both started laughing. Hi, I'm Lily, and I'm your typical high school nerd. Except I have a very big secret. Want to know more? Stick around. And yeah, like and subscribe to my channel. I lived with my parents and twin sister, Catherine. During my upbringing, I was an extremely quiet child and mostly stayed to myself. I read books and achieved perfect grades. However, Catherine was entirely different. She was the school's queen bee, exceptionally beautiful. And each week, she would date a new boy who would instantly fall for her.
You are so perfect, Catherine. I love you.
Aw, sweetie, you're not too bad yourself. I love your smile.
I love your smile and your eyes and your perfect little hands. I love everything about you.
Can you guys go and be irritating somewhere else? I'm trying to do my homework and your sweet talk is making me queasy.
Are we making you jealous? Because honestly, the only guy you'd ever kiss is your stuffed panda.
At least he's permanent. Unlike the losers you date for 2 weeks, then dump and file restraining orders against because they end up stalking you. I wonder what will become of this new arm candy. A piece of advice, lover boy. Run before it's too late. Catherine threw a cushion at my head and left, and I couldn't help but giggle. But she wasn't entirely wrong. I was a bit envious of her. Even though I was smarter and more composed than Catherine, I was always known as the other twin or the nerdy one. No guy ever gave me the same kind of attention as Catherine. Well, no one except Sid. He was the spoiled son of a wealthy industrialist and was really popular for his silly pranks in school. The first time I saw him was on the first day of high school when he rollerbladed into me in the school hallway, and we both landed on our butts.
Wow! I've never seen anyone like you before.
Really?
Of course. I mean, how many people can be as stupid and blind as you are? You've got to be someone special.
Excuse me, but you crashed into me. You should be apologizing.
You're right. Where are my manners? I'm sorry for calling you blind. 'Cause you also have an incredibly twitchy face, and you sound like a pregnant horse when you talk. Now I know I'm very handsome, and you'd rather spend your day staring at me, but I'm late for class.
And Sid just pushed past me and left. I was hoping to never run into him again. But then I walked into the class, and the teacher introduced him as the new student. To make things worse, she appointed me as his student tutor to bring him up to date with the classes. Later, as I sat with Sid in the library, I saw him staring at me funny.
You must be so happy.
What makes you say that?
Come on. I saw how you were staring at me in the hallway. You like me, and it's cool. So how about we ditch these books and make out?
How about I punch your face and fracture your nose?
My plan's better.
Sid slid to my side and our faces were inches apart.
Do you always smell like this?
Like what?
Like a mix of poop and garlic. Your breath stinks.
What the heck? I thought with time, Sid would find a new target. But a whole year went by and he only got more annoying in my locker and it chewed all my books. And another time, Sid pulled out a fake snake from his bag and threw it in my face in the middle of a chemistry class. I got spooked, tripped, and crashed into a table full of chemicals. We couldn't enter the lab for a whole week thanks to the smell of rotten eggs. But despite everything, I had one thing going on right. My secret matchmaking website. I was Mrs. Cupid, famous for giving advice to anonymous kids who are suffering in their love life. Dear Miss Cupid, I have a crush on this mega hot chick. But since she's the most popular girl in school, she never notices me. How do I get her to date me? Dear Agent Hot Abs, I'm sorry, but the only way you'll get a girl like that to date you is in your dreams. But try the Math Club, Drama Club, and Polar Bear Rides Club. You've got a lot of pretty girls in there. And a month later, Agent Hot Abs confirmed that he was dating a theater club girl. Another time, I got an email from the bimbo babe. Dear Miss Cupid, I want a boyfriend, but I don't want to sound too desperate. What should I do? Dear Bimbo. Babe, if you're writing this email, it means you're already desperate, and something about your name tells me you're not too smart either. Try searching the library for some hot geeks. This way you can find a date and maybe learn a thing or two. Win-win. Dating someone too. Another score for Miss Cupid. I'm making your dreams come true.
There you are!
I jumped in shock as Sid walked up from behind me and I shut my laptop.
What you hiding on that computer? Are you stalking me on Instagram? I knew it, you have a crush on me.
I don't! Now stop snooping around and leave!
Not so soon.
Sid snatched the laptop from my hand. I tried to get it back, but that sleazebag wouldn't let go. Finally, the laptop fell on the ground and the screen flew open.
No way! You're Mrs. Cupid! You give advice to corny teenagers. Oh my god, I'm dying. I think I might have coughed up a lung.
Shut up, you moron! And yeah, I am Mrs. Cupid, but if you tell anybody, I swear I will end you.
I won't tell anyone if you agree to set me up with someone. I know you're probably wondering why a hot guy like me would need your help, but I want to see how good you are.
I'd rather eat a bag of worms than help you. Suddenly, Sid ran out of the door and screamed into the school hallway.
Hey everybody, our grand school Mandy Mrs. Cupid is none other than...
I covered his mouth and yanked him back into the classroom. Why are you doing this? You haven't dated a single girl this whole year and now suddenly you want a girlfriend?
Maybe I'm bored and this could be a welcome change. Now, do we have a deal?
Ugh, I hate this, but fine. I'll find a date for you. And if you two hit it off, you have to promise to permanently get off my back.
Whatever you say, princess.
I know it was probably the worst idea to help Sid, but I also didn't want anyone to find out I was Miss Cupid. It was the one good thing in my life. I wasn't going to let all my hard work go down the drain. So I sat up all night trying to find the perfect match for Sid. And the next day, I arranged a few dates for Sid, but they all ended up in massive disasters.
Have you seen my new rubber chicken collection?
You're what?
Rubber chicken, you know, the one you squeeze and it makes a sound. Let me show you an example.
I'm a dorky chick.
Okay. Actually, I just remembered I have to take my cat for a manicure. See you around.
And we never saw her again. The next day, Sid met another girl at a burger joint and sneakily placed his dumb rubber chicken in her food. Just as she took a bite, the toy made a sound and she almost passed out. This happened a few more times before I finally lost my mind and cornered Sid. What's the matter with you? And what's with this stupid obsession with rubber chickens?
What? I really like them. And if I can't share my passion, what's even the point of having a girlfriend?
If you really want this to work, you've got to step up your date game. Carrying chicken toys to dates is not how you woo a girl.
Really? Then how do you woo a girl?
Sid came closer, staring into my eyes, and for a second I forgot how to breathe. But then he just pulled my laptop closer and stared at the screen.
Oh, this one sounds interesting. Dear Cupid Lovelock, I'm tired of dating the same guy over and over again. Find me someone different. Bored Anonymous.
Yeah, cool. Now sit back and let me work my magic. I texted Bored Anonymous that the boy she was looking for would meet her in the library with a red book in hand. And the next day, Sid sat at the desk with the book while I hid behind the wall waiting for Bored Anonymous to show up. I almost threw up when I saw Catherine walk in and she went straight to Sid. She was Bored Anonymous.
Mind if I take this seat?
I don't see why not.
Catherine pulled out a chair and I waited for Sid to do something stupid. But surprisingly, they got along really well. They were cracking up at Sid's jokes and Sid was blushing like a stupid girl. And weirdly enough, I started feeling kinda jealous watching them together. I was still lost in my thoughts when Sid walked over.
That went well.
You don't actually think you can date my sister, do you?
Why? Catherine is fun, cool, and pretty to look at. Why should I not date her?
Because you guys are totally different and she's known to crush boys and walk all over them.
That was before she met me. I'm gonna steal her heart and she won't know what hit her. In fact, she just asked me to be her date at this super cool party, and I think I'm going to go.
Guess what? I'll be there too, with my boyfriend.
You know you can't bring an imaginary person to a party, right?
He's not imaginary. He's a very real person, you'll see.
I can't wait!
Neither can I. And yeah, don't forget your rubber chickens. I walked away feeling kind of miserable. I had less than 5 hours to find myself a boyfriend. So I just asked one of the guys from the chemistry class to be my date, and he said yes. The party was nice and I was having a good time until Sid showed up with Catherine on his arm and sat right next to me and my date.
Oh, my sweet honey buns, I could stare into your eyes forever.
I can stare deeper.
I can stare into your soul and I can say you're an angel.
That doesn't even make any sense.
It's a metaphor.
It's stupid.
Are you two done? Because I want to dance. Sid, come on.
We'll join you.
But I don't know how to dance.
Just follow my lead. I dragged my date, but he kept missing steps. Banged into a bunch of people. At one point, he stomped on my feet so bad I had to sit down with an ice pack. I didn't see Sid and Catherine after that, and the next day they were officially dating. Sid was so lost in Catherine's love, he didn't pay any attention to me. No pranks, no rude comments, not even a glance, and it made me so mad. But I knew it was only a matter of days till Catherine would dump Sid. Despite our weird relationship, he was kinda the only friend I had, and I didn't want him to end up hating me after Catherine dumped him. So I tried talking to Catherine about it. So you and Sid, huh? When are you dumping him?
Not this time. I actually like this guy and I think I'm gonna stick around.
But he's so uncultured and weird. And I might warn you, he has an unhealthy obsession with rubber chicken toys. It's bizarre.
So he's a funny guy. And why are you so interested in Sid anyway? You never paid attention to the guys I've dated in the past.
I'm just looking out for you.
Yeah, right. Stop prying and mind your own business.
Catherine catwalked her way out of the room, and I kept thinking about what she said. Why was it bothering me so much that Sid was dating Catherine? Did I have feelings for him? Oh no. Yuck. I just shoved whatever stupid thoughts I had aside and decided to focus on my studies. But my concentration was all over the place. Then one day I was in the library breaking my head over some complicated math equation when someone pulled my notebook. Sid, give that back.
I will when you tell me. Why are you so mad at me?
Why would I be mad at you? Do I look mad at you? You and I are not friends. That I'll be mad enough to be mad at you. That'll be madness. And I'm not that mad. I grabbed my book and turned to leave, but Sid got in the way.
I'm not done talking. Did you tell Catherine that I'm uncultured and weird?
Maybe.
Why?
Because it's the truth. You are weird and creepy, and you don't care about anyone's feelings. Remember how you chased me around for a year saying the stupidest things? And now that you have a girlfriend, it's like I don't even exist.
I thought you wanted me to back off, and now you're bothered by it. What do you want, Lily?
Don't know. Okay, maybe I'm just mad at you for not even saying a thank you. If not for me, Catherine would never date a rubber chicken-loving brat like you.
Fine, thank you. Happy now? Anyway, I came here to ask your opinion on this necklace I got for Catherine for prom, but I guess it was a stupid mistake.
Glad to know that. There's something you can figure out on your own. Sid and I didn't talk after that. And I just spent most of my days locked up in my room, eating tubs of ice cream and watching Luna Avatar. Watching these stories made me realize how stupid I was to chase a guy who didn't even like me. So I decided to keep my self-respect and forget about Sid, even though it broke my heart. Then, a few days later, it was prom, and I decided not to go. I was casually sitting in my living room when I heard a car pull up in the driveway. I peeked outside the window and saw Catherine kissing some guy who looked nothing like Sid. What the heck was that?
It's called none of your business.
No, it's called cheating. You're dating Sid, remember? Your boyfriend? Ex-boyfriend, I've decided to dump him. So he doesn't actually know? Catherine, he genuinely likes you.
Well, they all do. I'm literally perfect. But you know me. I get bored so easily. And this Sid was a total freak. He keeps annoying me with those stupid rubber chicken toys, and all he ever did was joke and talk and blah, blah, blah. Anyway, I can just drop him a text now.
Catherine pulled out her phone, but I just snatched it and threw it away. And then I pounced on her like a wild cat, while she struggled to push me away. Finally, my parents walked in and threw me off. I can't believe I thought you're capable of changing. I should have fought harder for Sid. I should have just asked him not to date you when I figured you were bored.
How did you... Miss Cupid? Oh my god, you liar! I should have known it was you. Only someone too lame to get a boyfriend would have so much time to find boyfriends for others.
You're calling me a liar? What about you, you cheating, backstabbing witch?
At least I have a life. All you have is this desperate attempt to save your sanity.
I will kick your butt like a bazooka. I charged at Catherine one more time, but before I could grab her, Dad screamed at us to stop. Then suddenly he fell to the ground unconscious. We immediately called 911 and took him to the hospital. Apparently, Dad had been under tremendous work stress that impacted his heart, and now he needed immediate surgery. But it was really expensive, and we didn't have that kind of money. Mom had some savings, but it wasn't enough. So Catherine asked her friends for help, but she was only met with more closed doors. We were running out of options when the nurse told us that someone had paid our bill in full. What? Who? The donor wants to keep his name anonymous. Sorry. With the bill being finally paid, Dad went into surgery, and thankfully it was successful. I was happy and I couldn't stop thinking about this anonymous donor. So I waited for everyone to sleep and then slowly made my way to the computer in the reception area. I typed in Dad's name and the bill had no name, but it did have a number. Sid's. Sid paid the bill. I can't believe this. He must really like you a lot.
I don't think he did this for me, dummy. I've seen the way he looks at you. He likes you. And I definitely know you like him.
Sorry about that.
Don't worry. Now go before it's too late. Yeah, don't ask Miss Cupid for help. She kind of sucks.
I smiled and rushed out of the hospital. But it was too late at night and I couldn't find a cab. Disappointed, I was headed back to the hospital when I noticed a car in the parking lot and Sid sleeping inside it. I walked over and banged on the window.
What? What? I have a weapon! Lily?
Sid stepped out of the car, and I immediately hugged him. Thank you for saving my dad. I don't know what would have happened if you hadn't stepped in. But what are you doing in the parking lot?
I stuck around in case you needed more help. Listen, Lily, there's something you should know. I like you. I was stupid to be playing games with you to begin with, but I thought you weren't interested in me. I started dating your sister to get some reaction out of you, and I did get a bit infatuated with her, but I started seeing her true color soon enough, before she even dumped me. I know I was crazy, and should have just told you I like you in the first place, but...
Hey, I like you too. Always have. But I needed you to date Catherine to finally see that.
Guess we both kinda messed up.
We can still make it, right?
I'd like that.
Sid leaned in, and I was sure he was going to kiss me this time. But instead, he handed me a rubber chicken. You really know how to woo a girl?